You know that feeling, right? That little panic attack when you can't find your phone. And it's not really about the phone itself, is it? It's about everything on it: your photos, your private messages, your entire digital life. Well, today we're going to break down exactly how the pros think about keeping all of that stuff safe. So let's get right into it. I mean, think about it for a second. All that stuff you've got stored on your phone, in the cloud, spread across who knows how many apps. Just how safe is it? We're so quick to just click agree on everything, but it's really worth stopping and asking ourselves, is any of this actually private? Okay, so that's a pretty heavy question, right? But here's the good news. We don't have to just guess at the answer. Turns out, the folks who do this for a living, the information security pros, they have a framework for this. And you know what? It's surprisingly simple, but it is incredibly powerful. They call it the CIA Triad. And no, it's not that CIA. You can put the trench coat and sunglasses away. In the world of cybersecurity, CIA stands for something completely different, and it's basically the holy trinity of keeping data safe. Seriously, almost every single security measure you've ever encountered is built on this foundation. So what are these three magical letters? Well, they stand for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. That's it. These three ideas are the absolute bedrock of information security. Think about it. Every password, every firewall, every backup system, it's all designed to protect one or maybe even all of these three things. Let's break down that first one, confidentiality. All right, so first up is confidentiality. And this is probably the one that pops into your head immediately when you hear the word security, right? It's exactly what it sounds like: keeping your secrets secret. The idea is dead simple. Only the people who are supposed to see the data should be able to see it. That's it. Like when you send a private text to a friend, you expect that you and your friend are the only ones reading it. That simple expectation, that's confidentiality. So how do we actually do that? How do we protect it? Well, you've got threats like data breaches or just plain old snooping. And we fight back with controls. Things like encryption, which basically scrambles your data so it looks like gibberish to anyone who's not supposed to see it. Passwords, of course, are the gatekeepers. And there's this really important idea called a need-to-know policy, which just means that even inside a company, people only get access to the data they absolutely need to do their job. Nothing. Okay, so keeping secrets secret, we've got that covered. That's confidentiality. But here's another question. What's the point of seeing data if you can't even trust it? And that brings us to our second pillar, integrity. This is all about being sure that the information you're looking at is legit and hasn't been messed with. Yeah, integrity is just what it sounds like. Making sure your data is whole and hasn't been changed, either on purpose or by accident. I mean, just imagine logging into your bank account and the balance is wrong. You'd freak out, right? You have to be able to trust that those numbers are accurate. And that, in a nutshell, is data integrity. And what's really cool is how we check for this stuff. So you've got threats like malware that could sneak in and change your files, or even just someone accidentally deleting something important. So we use things like hashing. It's like a digital fingerprint for a file. If even a single comma changes, the whole fingerprint is different. Bam! You know something's up. And of course, for those oops moments, we have things like version control and good old-fashioned backup. Okay, so your data's secret. Check. And you can trust it? Check. But what good is any of that if you can't, get to it when you actually need it? And that, my friends, is where our third and final pillar comes into play: availability. Again, it's a super simple concept. When you need your data, it needs to be there. Period. Every single time you log into your email or pull up a photo from the cloud, you are relying on availability. And there are a ton of things that can threaten availability. You've got things like a denial of service attack. That's when hackers flood a website with so much traffic that it just crashes. Or ransomware, which locks up all your files until you pay up. Heck, even a simple power outage can take you offline. And that's exactly why big companies have redundant servers, basically copies, plus backup generators and entire disaster recovery plans, all just to make sure the lights stay on, digitally speaking. So the CIA Triad is awesome, right? It's this great mental model for protecting the data itself. But there's one giant piece of the puzzle we haven't talked about. How do we make sure that the person knocking on the digital door is actually who they claim to be? Exactly. It's not enough to lock the valuables in the safe. You also have to protect the front door to the house. And in our world, that's called authentication. And trust me, it is just as important as everything else we've talked about. So when we talk about authentication, proving you are you, it really boils down to three categories, three types of proof. There's something you know, like a password or a PIN. There's something you have, like your phone or a special security key. And finally, there's something you are, like your fingerprints or your face. Okay, now listen up, because this is the single most important part, and it's where a lot of people get confused. For something to be true two-factor authentication, or 2FA, you need to provide proof from two of those different categories. I'll say it again, two different categories. Let's make this super clear. Let's say a site asks for your password, and then it asks for a secret PIN. Is that 2FA? Nope, absolutely not. Why? Because a password and a PIN are both things you know. They're from the same category. But what if it asks for your password, something you know, and then your fingerprint, something you are? Ah, now that is real, proper two-factor authentication. See the difference? So if we boil this all down to its simplest form, it's like this. The CIA Triad: confidentiality, integrity, availability, that's all about protecting the what, the data itself. Authentication is all about controlling the who, the person trying to get to that data. And for any system to be truly secure, you have got to have both. And there you have it. You now know the fundamental framework that pretty much all of digital security is built on. So the real question isn't what it is, but what you're going to do with it. Think about your own digital life for a minute. Which of those three pillars, confidentiality, integrity, or availability, needs a little more attention from you?